I'm here to help you partners see what TXOne can deliver and how our solutions can help you help your customers with the NIS2 compliancy. My colleague Sebastian.
Sebastian Mazurczyk, I'm Channel SE. I'm responsible from technical perspective. So if there is any questions about our future, how we can protect, how we can use our systems, our product, so I'm the right person from technical perspective.
So maybe first a few words about TXOne. So who is TXOne? We are a joint venture between Moxa, who is a vendor already over 30 years in the OT networking, routing, switching. And it's a joint venture with Trend Micro, who is a IT cybersecurity company, also for over 30 years, specialized in IT security. And so both companies came together, made a baby called TXOne. And what we did is, or what is our specialty, is we looked at the market, the cybersecurity needs in the OT world. And so we built from scratch solutions to deal with the challenges that are facing in the industrial environment. And so that's what we are delivering, and that's what we're helping our partners to sell. So we started in 2019. We have over 5,000 customers. We are with 400 people. To help you, and we have a lot of customers in different verticals. Why is this important for you? Is because when you have customers or when you are in that market, we can bring you in contact with companies that were facing the challenge that you are facing or your customers are facing, and then we can bring you in contact with them, and they can show you why they chose TXOne. Yeah? So looking at where we position ourselves. So this is the Purdue model. So the traditional IT security vendors are really in the upper half. So they're in level 3, 4, 5, and they bring solutions there. But where we are is we are really in the shop floor. So we are protecting the SCADA system, HMI, PLC. If these are terminologies that you know, then you're at the right address, because that's what we are protecting. And that's also, if you ask me, what is our biggest differentiator? I would say we are an OT native cybersecurity company. We don't care about the mailboxes or data centers. No, we care about the production lines. We want to make sure that they don't block, that they don't get hacked. Yeah? And that's the reason why a lot of companies, partners, and customers reach out to us, because they want to be NIS2 compliant, not only for IT, but also for OT. And you know, NIS2, it's coming, it's there. I believe that a lot of companies need to deliver their first audit before end of June. Well, what if I can tell you that you have a very nice solution with TXOne to help those customers? Because when you get audited, you don't need to be full compliant at day one, but you need to show a journey. You need to show them that you're making a progress in your OT cybersecurity. And that's where we can help you. And Sebastian will explain some of the solutions that we have that can help. And you know that there are a lot of new vertical markets that were added to the NIS2. So if you're a reseller and you have customers in those verticals, for example, in the water, waste, public administration, well, you can read them. Manufacturing, you have them. Reach out to them and ask them, how are you protecting your industrial environment? Because there is definitely an opportunity for you to go out there and to make sure to help them, guide them through NIS2. Because NIS2, it's all about the technical, operational, organizational measures that you need to make sure that you anticipate the risks and mitigate or prevent, minimize the impact of the attacks that were there. There are 10 measurements that can be done. I'm not going to run through all of them because we don't have so much time, unfortunately. But we also have a table next to the previous speaker, so feel free to join us as well. So coming back to these 10 measurements, we will cover them later as well, where we fit with our technologies. but in a sense, you can group them into three groups. So risk assessment, risk mitigation, and then also the incident management. What will you do when you get breached? What do you have to do, and how will you manage this? So, few words on IT versus OT. So the first thing that we have is in OT, there are still a lot of legacy systems. We still see a lot of our customers with Windows XP, Windows 2000. Well, how you're going to protect that if your agent, your antivirus doesn't work on those platforms anymore? Well, our agent does it. And there is, by the way, a misconception in the world that companies who buy the latest, greatest new robot arm, they think that this is running on the latest Microsoft Windows 11 operating system, but often it's still an older system. So you're opening your door for operating systems that are no longer supported. How will you deal with that? Well, that's where we come in place. So the systems, the IT agents, they need constant updates. Our systems don't need that. You can imagine that if you have an agent in your network and he needs to update, use the small bandwidth that you have, and you're using it to update all the time the agents, your customer is not going to be happy. So we need other solutions for that. So IT and OT is different also in terms of protocols. We can recognize the protocols, we can read them, we can see the values, we can have deep packet inspection on what is going through the bandwidth, and we can then filter upon it. And so, as a nutshell, IT often is more doing bad things than good things. That's one of the reasons why, if you look at OT cybersecurity for the last 10 years, it was all about visibility. Don't touch the production line because we don't know what the agent is going to block, and maybe then the production line stops, and we don't want to do that. We just want to tell you where your house is on fire, but we're not going to do anything about it. So that's, for me, not protection. If I buy a house, I don't buy a camera to see who comes into my house. I buy a lock. And about those locks, about protection, I believe you have something to say.
Okay, thank you, Dimitri. So the challenge in the OT environment is that first, this kind of network are very, very often flat. It means that inside we don't have any protection. There is no any other mechanism which protect when you have a threat inside in OT network. So this threat very fast can infect another systems, because it has communication with any other asset inside. So OT protocols, different OT protocols, these kind of networks are very old, sometimes not very well documented. So how we can implement security when we don't know exactly how it looks like communication? What kind of application are implemented? We don't want to have the situation that we block the process, that we block communication. That's why what is very important in this kind of solutions to protect OT is automation. Automation will help us first understand what we have in OT, in our environment, and second, speed up implementation of security systems. So that's why in our systems, in our portfolio, in our product, we implemented many automation. The features which will help us to create first the baseline, to understand what is important, what is necessary by process, then we can decide what we want to implement. We can implement at the beginning in the monitor mode, but the huge difference between us and other vendors who are focused on the OT, it's what Dimitri said. They focus on the monitoring, visibility. We focus on the protection. We give you the protection, real protection, but of course, we will have this visibility and monitoring too. In our portfolio, we designed and we have different products. Generally, we have three different families. One of them is element, the second one stellar and edge, and the sage one, it's our platform, which we'll use like single pane of glass. So let's start from this family element. Why it's important, how we can use it, where we can use it, and why this solution is very useful in OT environment. Very often the situation is that OT environment is without access to the internet. It means that you cannot use tools which need access to the internet. No, it's prohibited, it's blocked. So you cannot send any information to the cloud. Our portable inspector, it looks like USB stick, but to be honest, it's not real normal USB stick. Inside, we have engine, scan engine, which can be used to scan your OT assets, Windows, Linux system, legacy system. We can scan Windows system from XP to the latest version. It can be desktop, it can be server, it can be Windows embedded, and different Linux distributions. Another important thing is that it's very easy to use. You just plug in Portable Inspector and run the application from USB stick. You don't need to install anything. From time to time, we have the situation that you cannot install an agent. For example, because then you have to recertify this asset. Or you have very air-gapped environment where the asset is communicated only with 1-2 PLC. That's all. So it's difficult to have agent on this asset and control this agent, collect information, etc. Portable inspector. You just plug in, you scan. If we find some malicious content files, you can move to the quarantine, remove from asset. You can always restore it. And additional features which we have here, you can collect information about this asset. What kind of application are implemented? Information about hardware, operating system, information about vulnerabilities on this asset. And all of this information you can send to the central management console where you can generate a report for your top management or for people who can take care about this asset. We have two versions of Portable Inspector, Pro and Standard. In Pro, we have additional feature. It's a secure file storage. It's a storage where you can upload your files, and when you are uploading the files, our scan engine checks these files. If they are infected, you cannot store these files. In this family, we have central management console on the top. This is a virtual machine, very easy to implement, and all of this ecosystem can be implemented in air-gapped environment. On the left side, we have SafePort. This is a sanitization station. If you used USB sticks, do you know what is included in these USB sticks? Safe files, unsafe files, some infected files. If you don't know, how do you check it? This device can be used for it. You just plug in USB stick, you can scan. We can give you the results. Okay, there is safe. We can see some infected files. You can decide what to do. Just lock, inform us, remove infected files, or encrypt, because we want to use this USB stick on our shop floor. Because USB stick is one of the main attack vector in generally in OT and probably in IT. Management console. I mentioned information about application, vulnerabilities, airbag. And the feature which we implemented in the last release is asset-centric change management. You scan asset using Portable Inspector. After 2 weeks, you scan once again, and our system gives you information what are the changes between these two scans. For example, there is new application. A real example at our customer is that the operator implemented the night application to watch some movies. So we highlight, hey, come on, there is new application. There are new vulnerabilities. Somebody add additional hard disk. Somebody change memory, etc. So everything you can include this central management console and you can generate report. Okay, Portable Inspector. When we cannot install agent, where the asset is in the air-gapped environment without access to the rest of the network. Before we connect any asset to the network, we can use portable inspector to scan it. However, when we think about the protection 24 hours, 7 days a week, we can think about our agent, Stellar. This is agent cyber physical system detection and response. OT environment is different than IT environment. OT environment is more static than IT environment. That's why in our solution, we create fingerprint, the baseline, what is on this system, how looks like communication to this system, what kind of application are used, because these applications are used by process. We recognize OT applications, and these OT applications are not recognized by IT. So we know which one are OT. So we create baseline. And everything which is not in our baseline, the system gives us information. Hey, come on, something is suspicious. Look at it. And we can inform you about it, or we can generate a log, or we can, for example, protect it, so we can block some actions. For every agent or every asset has his own unique fingerprint, because in every asset we have different application, different communication with rest of the assets, so different fingerprint. Why our agent is a good solution for the OT? Because from the beginning it was designed for the OT. In OT we have a lot of different challenges which we don't have in IT. One of them, air gap environment. You cannot install agent when you don't have communication to the internet. For example, some kind of IT DR, they need access to the internet. First one. Second, they don't understand OT applications. So it's very important. It cannot be impact on OT application, because then it's impact for the whole process. We recognize more than 8,000 different OT applications, many very known vendors of OT vendors. Our agent is very light. If you compare to IT DR, these agents need sometimes 1 gig, 2 gig RAM. We need maximum, when we use all of our security features, 500 megabyte. However, when we have asset where we don't have so much memory for our agent, we can reconfigure our asset, our agent, and we need around 180 megabyte of RAM for our agent. Another challenge, legacy system. Still we can see Windows XP, Windows 7 is very popular. Windows 10 is a legacy system. All of this system, embedded, modern, server, desktop, and now different Linux distribution, we support using our one agent. USB control. If you don't have any protection, an agent on asset in OT, you cannot control what kind of USB stick is connected. So you can imagine just one USB stick connected to asset, one system infected, no protection, no segmentation inside in OT, and you can know what will happen in the next few, for example, hours. Central management console, of course, to manage, to collect logs, to create policies, to send, and all of this system, agent together with our central management console, can be implemented in air gap environment. Our agent, when we install, we don't need to reboot. When we aggregate our agent, we don't need to do reboot. It's important for the OT, because the station which they have, HMI, SCADA system, they cannot reboot every, let's say, 2-3 months. It works 24 hours, 7 days a week. We cannot forget about our edge solution which is designed for the network security. We have different models. What is important, we have this device is completely transparent for the network. You don't have to change anything in your network. No additional IPs, no additional routings, no additional subnets. Just change the cable. Change the cable and our system will work, will analyze the traffic. What is important from the perspective of NIS2 is segmentation. Very easy, very fast, you can implement segmentation. Not between IT and OT, but very close or in the layer 1. at the front of the PLC, at the front of HMI. When you have a flat network, this is a challenge. You don't want to reconfigure the system. You want to implement segmentation very fast. And using our solution, you received protection and visibility in one platform. From perspective of protection, segmentation based on filtering traffic from layer 2 to layer 7, we recognize many OT protocols to the function level. The question is how to implement. We implement it in our system, in our devices, auto-learning process. First, we learn the traffic. We generate rules. You can review, you can change these rules, you can add additional rules, you can remove rules, and then you can apply. And very fast, using segmentation, we reduce attack surface to the assets because we allow for the communication from one specific asset to another specific asset using specific port, using specific protocol, OT protocol, and using specific function. Additionally, we do segmentation based on filtering, like firewall. We are completely transparent. We do deep packet inspection, virtual patching. We analyze the content. We block malware. We block exploits. We block different attacks, DDoS attacks, etc. We give you information about asset which we can see. What kind of asset? IP, MAC, type, firmware, vendor, if this information are in the traffic. We give you information about vulnerabilities, because we see how it looks like communication, what kind of software is used, what kind of version is used. So we give you information about the vulnerabilities, how it looks like communication between assets. We draw network graph, communication between them. You can search how it looks like the communication, what kind of protocols are used, and information about CV, vulnerabilities, and we give you additional information. Hey, this CV, don't worry, we protect. We have the rules for this exploit. So we give you this exploit, these vulnerabilities we protect. Rest of them, no. That's why what we suggest, antivirus. Please create filtering, segmentation, because we reduce attack surface. And we understand OT protocols, so we can define, okay, only this communication. Modbus, read. Rest of the function, we are not accept, we'll block it. So this is important, how deep we can understand it. And SeninOne, single pane of glass. So from all of our product, we send all information to the SeninOne. SeninOne gives you information about risk, where you should focus, how we protect the system, what kind of elements of our portfolio we use to protect this asset. You can see, we can see new vulnerabilities. Hey, we can see new attacks. Hey, we see new vulnerabilities, anomalies, everything of them about your OT environment you have in one console, which collect information from all of our products. And this console gives you information. Hey, look, here you have to update firmware. Hey, look, here you don't have this security feature implemented, and more. So we as TXOne, we focus not only area of networking, but we focus on different areas, endpoint, networking, and the situation where we cannot install our agent, so we have agentless. And we have SH, SeninOne. Yeah, the question is, maybe Dimitri to you, is there anything else what we can do to better manage risk or reduce attacks?
Well, you know, it's always a matter of investments. And the good thing about our technology is that we also integrate with the investment that you made as a partner or as an end customer. If you already have a SIEM, SOC, SOAR, well, our technologies can plug in, can integrate with that. So you have, as you explained, element one that is gathering all the information from PI. You upload it through the console via Sage1. Same for Stellar and same for Edge. So all those data, all those alerts, all that information can be uploaded through Sage1 to your SIEM, SOC, SOAR. So if you as a partner, you have SOC services on IT, why not extend that to OT? 5 years ago, I would say don't do it. It's too risky. You're going to get too much false positives because you don't have any OT native solutions in the organization. But today we will do the filtering for you so that you can build also that visibility in the OT environment. And this is going to help you get more visibility and a more secure environment. So just to summarize a few reasons why IT in OT will not work. So first, well, this is maybe a technical, or not a technical, but a commercial one, is we have licenses that work in subscription, but we also have licenses perpetual. So you buy it once and it's yours and it's running. Yeah. So also for OEM business, we have that type of license. You don't need to update your software constantly. This is really key in the industry environment. So we are compatible with OT applications. Internet connection is not required. Reboot is not necessary. You can imagine that if you have a Windows XP machine somewhere and there is a production line behind it, and you as a partner, you want to install an agent to protect, or even in a POC phase, you want to install an agent, and you have to reboot the machine, the guy is going to say, no, please don't reboot this XP machine. Our technology doesn't need that reboot. Yeah. I remember in the first times when we were covering those USPs with customers, they said, really? And I had to check again with our technical team, and they said, no, you don't need to do this. We don't need that, all those positive things, because our solutions are for the industry environment. So just going to go one last thing. So just wanted to share with you, NIS2 is for the end customers, but you also have regulations for machine builders, and you also have regulations for the vendors, the CRA, Cyber Resilience Act. And you see the penalties are really high. They can go up to 10 million euro, and they will start finding first examples. So the governments will start to investigate and check if you are NIS2 compliant, if you're showing that progress that I mentioned earlier. So go out there, talk about this, and make it a safer world. So 2 more slides. Remember this, where I said that all the measurements can be categorized into 3 groups. Well, for your effort, and I believe the presentation will be shared afterwards, I added for every measurement, I added where our technologies are. So asset inventory, asset inspection, as an example, because I see we're running out of time and I want to give you the chance to maybe ask a question. So if, for example, you want to make sure that the vendors that deliver material to you, so supply chain, you want to check, well, purchase this PI, and when the maintenance guy comes with his device, first check that his device is malware free before you let him into your organization. Yeah? This is a great thing, and what CISOs like about it, it's a physical device that you bring into a virtual world. So the maintenance guy can no longer use his own USB key to put firmware upgrade in your environment. You tell him, you use this USB key, you put all the files that you want on that file, and then you can, on this USB key, and then you can transport it into my organization. And is there a file with malware on it? It's going to block. He's going to not be able to put malware into your organization. And that's how we really enforce, together with you, more security. We're protecting the perimeter, because often the outside, the wall is protected, but if you let someone in with his own USB key, you're letting the door open. Yeah? So risk incident management, but I see we have 30 seconds for questions. So who can talk very fast and has very good questions? Don't be shy. You don't have to ask me, you ask Sebastian the questions. But if there are none, then I really want to thank you for your attention. I also want to thank Clico for giving us the opportunity to share what we're doing, how we're growing. We are still here the rest of the day. It's just the 2 of us, but in all Europe we started with 4 people 4 years ago, we are now with 56 people. So it's not a bad company to work with, believe me. Yeah. So thank you for your attention and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you very much.